Hi, how you doing? This is Muscle for Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast, and this is another special edition. This is called the Carnival Edition. We have three amazing guests this time with us on the podcast. So we're going to go from left to right, introduce the two ladies and then the gentleman. So we have in front of me.
I go by the name Shorty, and I'm from Trinidad, based in Toronto.
Okay.
That girl, Kerry Ann. But my friends call me Care.
And yours truly, Toronto's voice of choice, DJ Oshawn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing this evening?
Wonderful.
Good.
Good. I love you guys' energy. I love you guys' spirit. I've been following you guys on Instagram throughout the whole carnival season. I felt like I was there.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
The GT.
That's good.
Never been to carnival before. Always wanted to go. So, Shorty, was it your first time or you've been there before?
I'm originally from Trinidad, so that's home for me.
All right, so you went home.
So that's me going back home to see my family, and the highlight is Carnival, and it falls right around the time of my birthday, so it makes sense.
What are you, Team Aquarius or Team Pisces?
Team Aquarius.
All day, every day. Come on, man. All day,
Pisces
every
season
day. Kerry Ann, you, first time or what?
It wasn't my first time, but I would
Okay.
like to consider it my first official carnival.
Okay.
Because the last time I was there for carnival was in 2010, and I didn't really do much.
Yeah.
I just kind of walked along the side of the parade road. I didn't play mass. I didn't do Juve.
Okay.
Didn't really do any parties. I didn't play pan. So to me, it doesn't count.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
You are right. So that's your first time. DJ Oshawn.
Well, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
But yes, it was my first time.
First
I
time.
broke my Trinidad.
I
did it.
Crazy. And it looked like you guys were having amazing fun. I remember seeing a picture with you and Usain Bolt.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You know, the two yachties mashing up Trinidad. Big up to you, saying, really good guy.
I've seen some people tearing off, some girls tearing off his shirt and stuff in the fence.
heard about that.
I saw that.
Yeah, he got a lot of attention, man. Like he was very entertaining.
Yeah.
I can say that. It was very, very entertaining. Yeah. It was cool, man. It's cool. Real good guy. Real humble.
He was a good guy.
Yeah, man.
What fete was that you were in?
That was at Soca Brainwash.
Yeah,
That was Soca
big
Brainwash.
one.
Yeah.
Big up DJ Private Ryan on that one there.
Yeah, man.
Did any of you guys attend Soca Brainwash also?
No.
No.
Didn't work out. Was supposed to be there. Just didn't quite
it just
work
didn't quite work out. All right, and tell me, Kerry Ann, what was your highlight of Carnival this year?
Winning Trinidad Panorama.
Bam,
For
bam,
the
bam,
first
bam, bam.
time ever.
Good, good.
Takes a back,
And
takes a back.
that's big because you went from going in 2010 and not playing at all, not participating until 2018, winning.
Yeah, and it was really surreal for me because when I went in 2010, I was supposed to play pan, and for whatever reason, that just didn't work out. And since I started playing pan in 2009, it's like been my ultimate goal to play in Trinidad.
Yeah.
So I finally got the opportunity to play this year, and it was just icing on the cake that we won because the experience on its own was amazing for me from beginning to end.
Okay.
What also made it really amazing was that the band that I played with, BP Renegades, it was the first time that the adult band won in 20 years.
In 20 years. Wow.
So
You know why? Because I'm originally from Despot, and Despot is mashup. We have a pan group called Desperados, and they won last year, I believe. Yeah, I believe they won last year. So, Despots normally take it. I'm biased because I'm from up on the hill. So but I'm so proud of Kerry Ann too because I actually am friends with Kerry Ann outside of our world.
Yeah.
And I saw her work very, very, very hard to be able to play at the finals.
Yeah.
So, I'm very proud of you.
thank you, Mama.
It's the unicorn that brought in the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, a little extra magic.
She was determined. She was determined.
Absolutely.
And Shorty, what was your highlight for Carnival?
My highlight was seeing my dad.
All right.
Yeah, that was my highlight.
Yeah.
I don't get to see him as often as I would like to because I'm all over. But when I get to go back home, I like to spend a lot of time with my dad because I'm a daddy's girl.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that was your highlight.
That was
there.
my highlight. Nothing beats
right.
that.
when it comes to video footage now.
Really?
How about video footage?
What about it?
The seat's getting a little warm right now.
I feel so, and my hands start to sweat one time.
I seen a video that had a lot of views. I want to say that video went viral.
It sure did, went viral.
Could you please explain to the listening audience what happened in this video to make it go viral?
Play by play.
Okay, so first of all, I want to big up Frankie P from New York. He had a Juve band in Trinidad, so I was playing Mad People Juve. And I happened to be getting on real bad on the road, as I normally am. And then I came across a man who looked dead, but he was probably very intoxicated and, out. And I proceeded to go over this man and wind up myself over this man. And he woke up for like a second, which that part of the video is not even, it wasn't even posted. But when people see it, they're like, this is a corpse. Is this man alive? They didn't know what to think. Yeah. I even got people like coming on my page saying, you're so disgusting for doing that. And I'm like, well, I'm whining on a dead man, sue me. So, I had a lot of fun with it, but the video actually went viral. Other outlets reposted the video so much. Other people reposted the video. So, I would love that other things could get reposted like that. But no, people like foolishness.
So the burning question is, did he grant permission?
Yeah. No, so I probably have a warrant out. Oh no, he didn't grant no permission, but I take it anyway.
But I thought it went the other way around, where the guys had to ask the girls for the permission. So.
I think it's supposed to be both ways, but mainly I think that was implemented because of how men could sometimes be very aggressive with women during that time, and I wasn't mad at it, but. He was clearly, listen, this was a wife he regrets. I'm telling you.
That's so amazing there. That's crazy. It's just the vibe in Trinidad is just
different. It's just fun. It was a great time.
So let me ask you, as somebody that's never been to Carnival in Trinidad, what is it like compared to Carabana? We'll go around the circle.
It is the carnival
because
it's where everything began, right? So if you want to really experience that, like Toronto, I love my city. I love the city. Toronto is second best, but Trinidad it's a different vibe. It's just completely different. For me.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I mean, I personally didn't make a lot of the parties specifically, but from what I've seen and from the few that I did attend, it's like Trinidad steps up. They definitely have a higher standard. And it's almost as if, I don't want to say everything's kind of competing with each other, but there's that level of competitiveness where they want to and continue to strive to increase expectations and surpass them. Like they're really creating an experience for the consumers. From the pan side, there's seriously a different level of discipline.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's that burning desire where performing and you have to earn your place to perform because there are so many talented people who come to play that people put that extra effort in to get their spot.
And make it really happen. And make it really count.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a hunger that's not here.
It's I said, different vibe. Different.
Well, you have to remember the thing with it, when you go to somewhere like Trinidad, generally everybody's Trinidadian, so everybody gets it. You know what I mean? Everybody's on the same vibe, the same level. But when you're here, you have Trinis, Guyanese, Jamaicans, Vinci, Grenade. So everybody's bringing their own flavor. But remember, when you go to Trinidad, you're going to adapt to whatever's going on in Trinidad. So even if you're not from there, you're going to, whatever they say there, whatever the order is, you're going to keep the order down there because you're now in Trinidad. You see, with Canada now, there's no real order. It's just everybody does their own thing. And that's the real difference there. How about you? Tell me your experience down there.
Well, especially for it being my first time, definitely have to agree with Kerry. I'm going to say like the production, the way
Yeah.
they put their events together, like it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And one of the things that amazed me was their sound systems.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, the sound
Their
quality was
sound
wicked.
systems are unbelievable.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
I think that's a really good word that you use, production.
Yes,
Yeah.
their production.
There's
That's
yeah,
that's
I
what
like
it
full
is.
that.
production
Yeah.
value
Yes,
that
that's
goes
what it
into the
is.
event.
Their production is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They take it serious.
Yeah.
Man. You know, especially being a carnival chaser, going from carnival to carnival to carnival,
Yeah.
and seeing how everybody else does theirs, and then trying to compare. It's like you can't compare, and that's you know. I'm always like, what's so big about Trinidad? Like, I need to go and see.
They bold
And
face.
I tell you, I saw it. So yes, their production is really, really
The
good.
production value is really
very.
big. No, but I know from back in the days, anything coming out of Trinidad was always pristine. Whether it be the mixes, whether it be music videos, any production that came out of Trinidad was always on top. And that's what I like because they respect the craft. And that's what it really comes down to. You got to respect what you're doing. You know what I mean? And a lot of
Absolutely.
people, as I said, across the place, it might get lost in translation here. But when you're in Trinidad, everybody follows. This is what you do here, and that's what you do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's definitely big. So walk me through it. When you touch down in Trinidad, when does Carnival start? Is it from Juve? You're liming on the avenue. When does it start? Where does Trinidad Carnival start?
In the airport.
On the plane.
On the plane, actually,
on
yeah,
the
true.
plane
Yeah.
coming
True.
down.
But that
like,
depends on
it's
what
a
airline
vibe.
you with, though, right?
That's true, but I know some people turning up on the plane from the plane,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you know, it depending the time that you decide to go down. Whether like I went down like a week before Carnival, but there was festivities happening way before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I missed Army Fete because I came in after Army Fete, right? So, I mean, Carnival is basically the music changes over at a certain period of time where it's 100% soca on the radio stations.
My goodness,
Which-
I couldn't believe that. I was like, what? Yeah, that, and then you know what? And as soon as Ash Wednesday hit, boom,
Dance on.
right
Dance
back.
on.
I was like, what? This is unbelievable.
You have to check the dial. Is this the right radio
What's
station?
going on? Like I'm telling you, Ash Wednesday come, bang,
Yeah.
right to reggae. I couldn't believe it. They just shut everything down and it was right back to normal.
Yeah.
I
like-
mean, they do still play soca, but it's
Not
it's
heavy.
gone. It's a big difference from what it was during the season.
Okay.
And that's the thing too. Like I'm sure we'll get into about it being something seasonal where it shouldn't be that way, right?
And that's really what it is, because that's what I was going to ask you. When does the actual season start?
Well, I would like to think from late December, that's when they do the switch over.
Okay.
With the music on radio. Yeah, late December, especially because Carnival fell early this year and it also fell early last year.
Yeah.
You know, next year might be in March.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
I
March.
think
March,
so.
yeah.
So
March, yeah.
you see,
Okay.
it's so when it's like early in February, it's like rush.
Yeah.
Everything kind of the timeline is so much shorter, right?
Yeah.
So they do the switch over, and then from that, it really gets people into the new music that's out and to get accustomed to the music because, you know, people want to go fet and know to sing these songs and all that, right? So, you know, I think, it's from that time. Yeah.
That's where everything kicks off. Right? All right. So as I was saying, when you in Trinidad, let's say you're in, when did you go? You were a weekend or a couple or 10 days in?
I went because I was in Houston first.
Yeah.
And I was there from.
Traveler.
I arrived
Yeah.
Marshall Monday. So
Okay.
literally,
wow, you
so
came-
literally,
okay.
right off the plane,
Yeah.
put on my bags,
Yeah.
Straight
shower,
off the jumbo jet.
right,
Oh,
right
okay,
in, right
okay,
in,
okay.
right in. So I
And I
didn't
thought
waste
I
no
came
time.
down late, but
No.
you came down.
Yeah, because I was in
Yeah.
Houston first. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So it's Marshall Wednesday, the parade.
Monday.
Marshall Monday. And then what comes after that?
Kess Tuesday.
Tuesday on the
Tuesday on
rocks.
the
rocks.
Yeah.
Okay. And after that?
Wednesday
Is that
was
in
Wednesday.
No.
No, Insomnia
Isolation.
Falls.
No, Insomnia.
this
They did
this
Insomnia was
Sunday.
the Friday. This
Insomnia meets Chinatown.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's Wednesday?
I don't remember what Wednesday was.
But you know,
Man,
Monday,
it's real.
Tuesday.
It's a blur.
And then there's like events in the daytime as
there's
well.
boat
Like,
rides and all types of. I think Wednesday I actually went on a boat ride with DOC and the Enforcers. I think it was C'est La Vie. So shout them out too.
Yes, for sure.
I think we went out to that as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I think that was Wednesday afternoon, or was
I
that
didn't
Thursday?
do. Yeah, I wasn't on that
I think it
one.
was Wednesday.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much things happening,
Yes,
and
plenty.
even if there's not like an event you want to go to, you could just meet people on the avenue, and it's
There's a line
it's a
everywhere.
party. So
Everywhere.
right,
Yeah. The Avenue, but I know the Avenue is definitely the chill spot. Is that the chill
Absolutely.
spot in the day, or that's in the night, or when you chill on the Avenue?
like it's like after work hours.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like Young Street.
Okay,
Remember Young Street
yeah,
back in
of
the day?
course.
It's
Yeah,
pretty much like Young Street back in the day.
Yeah,
Right
Like
back
it's,
until...
and it goes right back until the morning. Like
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah. Lay vibes.
couldn't believe it. So where I was staying was right on Arapita Ave.
Okay.
So I was
so you
right.
was-
I'm
you was
walking
in a
out
good
and I'm
place.
on the Ave up and down. So yeah,
That's crazy. I can't wait to actually go because I see the alignment in the Ave. I see the Marshall Mondays, the Kess on the Tuesdays. I've seen the when is the parade? The Monday
and
then
then
Tuesday.
So, you're right.
yeah.
I've seen all. It looks crazy, but to me, it seems like each year it's getting a bit. I don't know if this is wilder. You know what I mean?
In what sense?
As in, I can't explain it as somebody on the outside looking in. It's more almost like daggering. If
We're
I was to
talking about the
explain it.
dancing.
You fine? I'm really fine.
I wouldn't say
found
so.
that-
That daggering is like a Barbados type of vibe.
That
Walk up,
yeah,
that
yeah, I
kind
would
of,
say
that's
that.
more
Like,
of a Barbados vibe.
I don't think as a yardie, I don't think it was like daggering.
Yeah,
not at all.
Not at all.
But I guess what I'm seeing, because remember, there's thousands of things going on.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing, it seems like there's a lot of more daggering, more than wind up.
What?
Is whose page you're watching?
Yeah, I think I would disagree on that.
Unfollow.
One time.
Well, I guess it's unanimous. I was wrong on that one.
yes.
It's cool. It's cool. I can take one. I took my first L. No problem. It's all good, but it's just, as I said, the vibe though, the energy just seems crazy. I don't know how you guys go from party to party, boat ride to boat ride, mass to mass, and just keep it going.
Let me tell you, for
Carnaps.
it being my first time, I said to myself, I ain't sleeping.
Yeah.
And I didn't sleep for how many days?
Yeah.
I just went fet after fet after fet after fet. Listen, if you cannot keep up,
Yeah.
don't go to Trinidad. Don't you man, you could really catch a stroke or something over there because
that's intense.
It is very
Yes.
very intense.
Yeah.
It is
Straight
very
pace.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially depending on who you go with as well too. Like if you were rolling with people who know Trinidad, know about the piece, then it makes it even harder for a first time. You know what I mean?
Because when people say pump, you pump.
It's a real pump. I've never
Sometimes you have to
experienced
just grab a nap where you could grab a nap
Yeah.
if you can, because
Literally.
some people just burn out that way and they'll drop down and they don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So you stay hydrated
Yes.
and take little cat naps because it's a serious pump.
Yeah. Non-stop. So,
for sure.
but how many events in total would you say are the big events? 5, 10, 12?
See, even
I think that gets political
complicated.
too.
Because every promoter would want to say the event is a big event, right?
Sir, no comment.
The fifth.
Okay, what are some of the more branded events that everybody goes to, everybody wants to be at, where you need to go to be seen? That's where you go.
I'm gonna say Beach House is one of the events that
100% agreed.
everybody talks about Beach House.
yeah.
I at first
Yeah.
was thinking, yo, what's the hype about Beach House? Like spending so much money and like, you know what I mean?
In
Did you
US
go
at
this
that
year?
too.
I did go to Beach House.
How
Yes.
was it?
Will I say if it was expensive? Yes, it was expensive.
Was it worth it?
I'm gonna say it was 75 to 80% worth it.
Okay.
So that's still
that's
good.
solid. That's solid.
I'm going to say I got my money's worth.
Money well spent.
I did get my money's worth.
Okay.
But it's still expensive. I will say that it's expensive.
Since we're talking expensive, what kind of numbers are we looking at here?
For a beach house?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. what is that? Beach house was like almost $200 US? What? Yeah. Yeah, it's like almost $200 US.
But it's all inclusive.
It's all inclusive, yeah.
Premium.
All-inclusive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question. For someone like myself, because there's definitely got to be other people like me who aren't really big drinkers, would it, in terms of the experience,
you might look at it in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the drinking is what helps enhance the whole experience.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So if you're not drinking, you're seeing everybody else drinking and partying and enjoying themselves, and you're kind of just mellow.
Yeah.
You know,
Says who? You see me party yet?
you know what I mean? But
Yeah, no,
you know
I hear
like
you.
it's a different experience. It's totally different being sober and then being, under the influence. So I would suggest not spend your money. I wouldn't do it if I was going to go sober. No, the food is good. The food was good though. Yeah. I'll say that. The food was good. But yeah, you got to go there to drink. Yeah. That is definitely the beach house experience. Yeah.
So it's a daytime fete.
It's like a day into night, right?
Yeah. Okay. It was until about 10.
All right.
And then they had the cooler, that the beach house cooler fete too. Did that as well. Yeah. Oh, man. They got my money this year. Oh yeah.
Were you at beach house this year?
I wasn't at beach house.
Yeah.
I don't even know what day beach house was, but I'm sure I saw all the pictures.
Yeah.
And another event that is a premium event like that is there's a lime event that happens too, and at the end of that event it's like fireworks and everything, and it's another expensive event, but I'm not sure the numbers for that event.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it's a very premium.
What's that one called?
It's called Lime.
Oh, true.
Lime Fest.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's what it seems like. But I guess a lot of the fetes, the big ones, are catered more towards the foreigners. Because if you're charging $200 US to get in,
they want a certain type of crowd within the event, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because that's up there.
Oh, boy.
And when we're here, you're asking for $40, $50 for all these artists, and then people are going to complain and all this stuff here, and you're paying $200 for. It's an experience, but it's also the hype. If everybody's talking about it, trust me, you're not going to want to get left out.
For sure.
Yeah, you're definitely paying for a brand.
Yeah. And that's it. What other big events are out there? Because I know another one, a big one, is Army Fete. But what the funny thing with Army Fete, I heard in Trinidad, you can't wear camouflage.
No. You can't. Yeah.
So why call it Army Fete if you can't wear camouflage to go to the Army Fete?
I didn't wear no camouflage.
Well, Army Fete is basically most of the Army personnel are within the Fete. So they're basically like the security within the Fete.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why it's called Army Fete. Yeah. Because no, you cannot wear camouflage. No, you cannot wear camouflage on any day in Trinidad.
For
you
sure.
will get locked up. So, but it's very, very safe. They claim to be... And I have seen that it is one of the safest fetes.
Okay.
If there's any issues within the fete, it gets rectified immediately. There's no... You would think twice to even have a situation inside of a Army fete as opposed to beach house. Or, you know what I mean? Right. It's completely different.
And that's a good point that you brought up there, because I was going to touch on the violence in Trinidad outside of Carnival. Do you find that the violence is affecting Carnival where people don't want to, as much people don't want to come to Trinidad? Or what's your take on that there?
I wouldn't say so.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like it's Trinidad Carnival, and it'll always be Trinidad Carnival. There has been violence for how many years? And granted, like, and especially for me personally, a lot of people did warn me about the violence. And, when I said I was going to Trinidad Carnival, like, are you sure you want to do that? It's so dangerous and you're a female and blah, blah, whatever. But, I mean, I felt very safe. There was no point that I felt threatened or anything like that. And I guess it's all about the company that you keep, the areas you choose to go in, and just being aware of your surroundings. Like if you're smart,
anywhere else, anywhere you go, if you don't need to go down the road, don't go down the road.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
You
you'll
know,
be
travel
okay.
with company.
Yeah.
Don't venture out by yourself if you're not sure of your
Yeah.
surroundings and you don't know where you're going. Because, of course, like, you could go in Toronto and get taken advantage of.
Of course.
So I think common sense plays
Yeah.
a big part of it.
That's real.
Yeah.
I agree.
I would say
I
so.
definitely think, you know, Trinidad has had a very bad reputation when it comes to crime and certain areas within Trinidad.
Okay.
I think that the police try to do their best to keep it down,
For sure.
especially for that period because of the tourism that comes within the country and things like that. So I think we do our best to keep it down. There are places like I wouldn't suggest people just venture into, especially if you're not from there. And even if you are from there, there's places people would still not venture into because you're not from there. What are you doing there? You understand? So it's that type of vibe. But at the same time, I don't think it really hinders the fun and the vibe and the events that happen. I think people do know that this is a time that people want to have fun and enjoy themselves and be a part of that experience.
Of course.
And I do think that also, like, promoters and the people that are putting on the events and such take that into consideration and do put in the extra efforts to make the patrons feel safe.
For sure.
But I have a gripe.
Pie.
What's up?
So Kes decided to have his event up in Carnage, and you know Kes, you're big, you're young lad, and to get to this event, it's one way in and it's one way out. You cannot shortcut it. You cannot. So you will be in forever traffic going up, and you will be in forever traffic coming down.
Literally.
Well, I just think, Kes, you know, you're done large and in charge. You know, I just find you could just have it somewhere where it's not one way in and one way out. That was my only gripe about areas and having, because he is big and a lot of people would want to go to his events, right? That's my only gripe. Go on, Oshawn. But if only see Oshawn today.
The blue catchy.
Let me leave the people, man.
Making me blush and shit. Yeah.
So
man.
who was at? You went to Marshall Monday?
Yes.
You're at Marshall Monday too? Give us some highlights. Some highlights of Marshall Monday this year.
One of the biggest highlights of Marshall Monday was seeing the crowd, and right at the front was this huge Canadian flag.
Yes.
If you see every video,
where were you? I did see it.
I
Where
was,
were you?
I was in Diamond, and then I came down to Platinum to social.
But you see, like, even in that Platinum area, it was kind of, there was a lot of space.
That was good, but
Right, but then I didn't notice that behind Platinum,
it's crazy.
It was slammed because I was backstage and stuff. So.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
I had to give myself that little plug. You know, I was backstage.
I came back there for a few seconds and you left, you know. But, you know, I was enjoying my very private area with my private bar and bartenders, you know. But I feel you.
Yeah, so I didn't recognize, though. Like, and when I actually went to the back and looked,
it was huge.
If you see people,
look like ants.
Yeah, and when I seen that, I was like, yeah, I'm not going over there. I'll stay over here.
Yeah,
but
that was big.
From what I got to experience, it was good. Because remember, I came right off the plane there, and it was like maybe 11, 12 o'clock, and Marshall finished what, 2?
Yeah, because Marshall was on the 5th, and it went into my birthday on the 6th. So that was my.
You didn't do pre-dawn, the boat ride, did you?
No, I didn't do pre-dawn.
Okay. Sorry.
Why we have to be also checking with each other?
So what was your highlight for our Marshall Monday?
I can't really say for Marshall Monday, but I can tell you my highlight for Trinidad.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, my highlight for Trinidad was Juve. Juve. I've never experienced anything like that before in my life. And it is so amazing when I say the vibe, the paint, the people. And then you're just you're in darkness and you're watching the sun come up and
You're wicked.
it was unbelievable. That was a time. Juve definitely, big up to Dirty Dozens. They did a good job. Like, big up Dirty Dozens Juve. They were amazing.
That was
yeah.
And they just keep one Juve, or they have several Juves in Trinidad?
It's several.
There's several.
There's several.
I mean, there's
Juves in South.
yeah.
There's Juves in Tong. There's St. James Juve.
Okay.
It's yeah.
So, question: have you ever played Juve in South? Because I heard
I heard it's good. But
that's
I've
what I
never
heard.
been.
I've heard that. Okay, some people said, "Yo, go do Juve this year with everybody else," but Juve in South is
I
a
heard
different
it's-
story.
yeah,
That's what I heard.
it's
different.
really
How? What
good.
makes it different?
I just heard you wouldn't want to go back and you wouldn't want to come back uptown to play Juve.
Really?
That's what I heard. That I don't know,
I
but
heard
I
that
heard
too,
I heard
yeah.
South is something different.
So you say South is more like the locals opposed to the tourists?
No, South is like far south of
Yeah.
where everything is happening.
So that's what I'm saying.
It's
So
not
more of the
city-
locals are out there. So then you have a better
I think
local vibe?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
definitely more locals would stay out south. Like people who's coming in, who's not from Trinidad, they wouldn't necessarily stay in south because they want to be close to where everything is
everything's going
happening,
on.
right? So south is kind of like a distance, and yeah, I think maybe that might play a big part in why
That would make
Juve
Yeah.
is a different vibe out
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Did you went to Juve?
See what happened was
Wow.
I went to Ambush. So I
there as
didn't do
well.
actual like Juve night before Monday Mass Juve.
Yeah.
But Ambush was wicked.
Yeah.
That was like that was a Juve experience. It wasn't
I have a qualm
Juve
about
night,
that
but-
though.
What?
I okay. What time did you guys get there?
late.
So we didn't get there technically till like 3:30, 4. And yo, the shuttles.
I know it's
were
bad.
horrible.
It was
we
really-
walked
it was- it
in.
real
We had
in
to
the
walk
bush.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to
bush.
walk, and it took us like 40 minutes to walk in because it was deep.
It was,
in the
but I
bush.
mean, once you got in and then you got dirty, like
but when
it's
you
just
went
getting
home
in
and you
and
felt those
getting
mosquito
out.
bites, boy, that bush, oh Lord, yeah, that
It's true.
was.
It's true to its
That's
name.
why it's called ambush.
It's true to its
You
name.
in that bush,
Morning
boy, that bush,
bush.
Lord.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go around the table. I want you guys each to give me your top 5 songs that you enjoyed this year at Carnival.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hold on, hold on. It's one.
I have a feeling we're gonna repeat songs. 'cause,
Yeah.
like,
So
Trinity,
hello
your top
from
5.
Cass is definitely was my number one. I also love Nadia Batson, Catching Feelings on that exact same rhythm. And one thing I did notice too, like they would play the Turner, they would play the Cass. They might give second, but I find it is hardly play the Nadia. So, but Nadia is one of the biggest ones for me with the Cass. What else was really good?
you want me to say it for you?
I don't want to say Soca Kingdom.
No.
I want to
No,
say
no,
that
no.
Marshall has another song when he's like,
I know what
Yeah,
you're
you're
make
talking
up your
talking
face
about-
and
yeah.
wine. What song
You
is
got
that?
over there.
Yeah,
It's
hey, you, that's my
Yeah, that's
tune.
it.
Top
Yes.
Striker.
Showtime.
Okay, so let me talk about Top Striker.
Yes.
So this is for me. I can't believe it because Top Striker was a big song for Miami Carnival last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it blew from listening to it in Miami. We tried to bring it to Toronto. It didn't get no love.
Didn't really
It
catch.
didn't catch in Toronto.
Okay.
Go to Trinidad. It's blowing up Trinidad right now.
Yeah.
And then now it seems like it's starting to
Now
catch.
everybody's
You know what I
back.
mean? But
now
this
it's
song,
gonna
this
catch.
song has been out.
Yeah.
It's been
I had first
out.
experienced Top Striker in Vincy Mass in July last year.
Oh, see, so yeah, you're
Yeah.
exposed to it before me,
And-
you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, Toronto's always been a little follow fashion.
Man.
Little follow
Very good.
All right, yeah, so I was actually for the top 5. I think you got the problem.
So then
I
that was one
got
of them.
two, yeah.
So that's 3, because Top
Oh,
Striker.
Showtime and Top Striker,
Yeah.
definitely. And
How are you not going to say this song?
what song?
Party mash up again.
Hey, I was waiting.
Splinters!
Dance
Yo,
mashup
how could you
color.
not? Yo, oh my God.
She wasn't ready.
You're on timeout.
Yes,
Boy,
Splinters.
Splinters.
That song, I just need to hear the beginning
yeah.
of that
Oh,
song,
my God.
Yeah.
and I am
that
like,
changes, it changes
yes.
lives.
Yeah.
Like,
That song
that's
is
big.
the
Yeah,
biggest
yeah,
song.
okay.
Is the biggest
big up
song.
Shawn Marshall.
Yeah.
man.
Is.
Splinters, yeah. That. Whew.
And this unicorn is actually in the Splinters video. hey.
Oh yeah.
So how come she didn't mention it? But we'll ask her
Hold
top
on, I didn't get my turn
your
yet.
top
Yeah.
five.
She have one song to go.
Yeah, so your top 5 pick.
Definitely Hello is my number one. That's
Yeah.
in the tune. Year for Love, Voice.
Yep.
In the Middle of Something. Problem Child. Splinters, Shal. And you know what song I really, really like? All I want to do is jam.
Oh,
Never.
you took my song. Yeah.
Let's get to the
That's
DJ.
a Juve. That's a Juve vibe.
Yes. Okay, so for myself, definitely Jam
Yes.
with that tune.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also say Splinters, for sure. A song for me, Overdue was a big tune for me.
Which one is that?
That's Urban Owls.
Yeah, Urban Owls.
Oh, Long Time is a Overdue. Yeah.
I think that was a big tune. What else is there? Oh, I feel like Hulk.
That's a creeper. Hold on. That song is a no.
I had
That
some
song
moments to that song.
is growing still. That
Listen,
song is still growing.
that
That is
tune-
not even at its prime
tune,
yet.
Oh my!
But you know what? It's just the
goodness
chorus
gracious.
that really catch on that.
gets you right.
Yeah.
Even when you
wasn't-
see the little kids, even you see the
No,
little kids, oh my
yeah,
God.
but that song is not even at its max yet.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that
Goodness.
song
Oh
is
my
still growing.
goodness.
Give it by summertime.
Oh my
full.
gosh,
Yeah.
that song!
Yeah.
It's listen.
And
It doesn't
that
get
song
enough
is big.
play yet.
Yeah,
like,
it's
yo,
not there yet.
Hulk.
Yeah,
Hulk.
and it's
I
so
had-
funny. You had a Hulk moment,
I
Kerry Ann.
had a couple.
Let's talk about this Hulk moment. Here.
See what happened was
Oh man!
my first Hulk moment was on, I think it was the Scorch DDI boat ride. And the sun had gone down at this point, and the song came on, and I don't know, I was just nice. And I was like, you know what? I feel... So there was a fella standing beside me, and I gave him a little tap on his shoulder. I'm like, hey, pick me up. And he's like, what? I'm like, pick me up. So he was like, oh, okay. So he kind of crouched down. I climbed on his shoulders, and
She
I
was
just-
hulking
I was hulking it.
Oh my god!
And then the course finished. He put me down, and I went about my business.
Hey, just like that. Pick me up.
Definitely.
I'm giving you permission. Pick me up.
Yeah, that's it. Access
Pick
granted.
me up. Crazy. So how did you like 2018 Soca compared to 2017 or even 16?
Amazing.
You say
You see,
Okay, you guys go. Okay.
everybody's back in
Because
the
I
mic now.
have two things to say about this, because I actually was asking people this question today.
Yeah.
And what they said to me was, the thing about it is, when you're in Trinidad,
Yeah.
the music is always good because you're experiencing it in a different way. So me not going to Trinidad ever until this year, I'm saying, okay, I'm looking at the last time I thought there was good music was 2015.
Really?
Really, when Can Can Rhythm came out,
Yeah,
that was
that was a big year.
There was
big year.
Porgy and Morta. There was 2015 was a big year.
Yeah.
I thought that was good, but then they were reminding me about last year. Last year had a lot of good songs as well. Like Single was big.
Yep.
There was Bungie Garland. What was it? Was it what was it?
Big Bad Soca.
Big Bad
Yes.
Soca.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they were still
That song is still
and
big.
that's still
It's
big.
still
You
for
know what I mean?
2018.
Yeah,
It's
so
still
like there were
going.
still some real bangers last year. The Voice, there was a Voice last year, Far From
Right,
Finished.
right.
You know what I mean? So there were still some big songs. So it's like experiencing it in Toronto and experiencing it in Trinidad. It's totally different
It's very
because
different.
like probably some people now they're hearing Hulk and they're like, what song is this?
Yeah.
Okay. But me now, when I hear Hulk, I'm
hyped.
Yeah,
going
yeah,
crazy. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So I just think it's so hard to explain to people that being in Trinidad, it's a total different vibe.
Yeah.
You experience the music totally different.
That's
totally different.
That's
it
a
definitely
good
changes
answer.
the
Yeah.
dynamic for sure. Me personally, I absolutely love the music from this year.
Okay.
I am a groovy girl though.
All right.
Yeah,
And
I'm a
there's
groovy guy.
there's tons of groovy music this year, and I also found that the music this year, excuse me, I don't want to say it was a little bit more. It had a little bit more depth to it.
There was a lot.
But
There was a lot.
I
A lot
felt
more
like-
meaning in the
Which
songs
is
that were coming out this year. Yeah,
important
for sure.
as speaking from an artist's
sure.
perspective,
Yes.
who came out with a song called Amazing that was not just speaking about something typical for soca, but was speaking about love and that type of vibe. It was really good to see that this year, the topics that was being sung about in the music,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
I loved
yeah.
it. I loved
It's
it.
great.
There's a lot of love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
I
like,
loved
and
it.
even after Carnival, I went to what is it? Uncle Sam's, you know, on Maracas,
Okay, yeah.
and that little club over there.
That's
so
a
there
vibe.
was, like, I'm telling you, I went there and there was some bad boy in that place, like, you know what I mean? But to see them there and they're singing out the positive music,
Yeah.
and they're chilling and what like that shows how powerful soca music is.
The power
man.
of
Like,
soca.
trust
Absolutely.
me. The power
So
of
you
soca.
you mentioned Uncle Sam, so I know you got bacon shark when you was down there.
Oh yes,
right?
I
All
did.
right.
I
Just
did.
making
For sure,
sure.
for sure.
All right.
You see, and that's what I was just about to ask all you guys. When you touch down in Trinidad, where do you have to go to eat? Where's the first stop to get some food?
KFC in the airport.
Yo, can I be honest about this?
100%.
All right, so let me be honest about this and say, why is everybody hyping about the KFC? Though?
Thank you. Let
Like,
me tell
why
you
is everybody
something.
hyping
As
about
a
the KFC?
Trinidadian,
It's not, like, it's not that special.
Our chicken place in Trinidad is Royal Castle.
Yes.
Okay.
But those lines are disgusting.
Yeah.
Because the chicken is good.
Yeah, the lines are
okay.
disgusting.
But because KFC come down to Trinidad and whatever, it's a big hype and whatever. But Royal Castle pepper, KFC is nothing without Royal Castle pepper. Okay. So like, if I was to get KFC, I would buy KFC and I would go to Royal Castle to get the pepper so I could eat KFC. You
But
understand?
I didn't think KFC's pepper was that bad. Like, I thought that was good.
You know what?
Well, you're not a Royal Castle.
The pepper sauce was good though.
I don't really understand the KFC hype. Personally, I've never been a fan of KFC in general. But I can definitely say that it tastes better than KFC here or anywhere else that I've had KFC.
Right.
But can I do without it?
Yeah. I just think the KFC
I
thing
could
is
definitely
it's
do without
it's
the KFC.
overrated.
But I've also never had
Absolutely.
Royal
Highly,
Castle
highly overrated.
chicken yet to compare it to. So
So you was in Trinidad for a whole month.
there's a lot of judgment going on. Don't really appreciate it. Priorities, Shorty. Priorities.
Whole month, and she didn't taste Royal
We're
Castle.
still going on that.
Okay. let me let it go.
So when you touch down, the first place you should probably go is Royal Castle, you're saying?
Yes, because I am a Trinidadian, and it's a Trinidadian company, and it's great, and the chicken is amazing.
Yeah.
So why go to something else when you know you could already get something amazing from a company that is from Trinidad?
Yeah.
I mean,
I hear that.
like
Well,
it.
I feel like I just heard your song playing in the background.
Good.
For me, as a Jamaican, you know I had to find a little Jamaican spot. So big up to Irie Bites.
Okay, right.
Irie Bites, that food was proper. But I will say that Domino's Pizza in Trinidad, really good.
Really?
Okay.
The food
Really good.
in Trinidad
really good.
is good.
Okay.
That's one thing I don't have no complaints with for me, and I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
So I like anytime I travel, I'm all about food. Like that's part of my happiness.
So you did like the gyros and all that?
No, I'm not a gyro girl though. Like I'm not even a gyro girl up here. You know, that's not my
Manchester, go
thing.
down like
that was my thing. That was my thing over there.
It does taste
But-
a little better than up here.
Yeah.
You know, I've had it before, but it's just not my thing.
But I
Gyros.
will warn people about the belly walk. Oh,
Too much information.
What is the belly walk?
Well, when you wake up the next morning.
Or are you waking out of your sleep?
No, I'm going to say it wasn't that bad. You know? It wasn't that bad. But trust me, after the fets and stuff, you need something to eat. The dry rolls were you couldn't resist. You know, I was like, yo, I gotta get a dry roll. But tomorrow morning, like, why?
So when you're in the streets, the street food, where do you have to stop to go get the street food? The vendors in the street. Who you check
most vendors are really good. There's this guy that's in Port of Spain, like in town, across from the KFC in Independence.
Okay.
He sells like this mashed potato with this chicken that's like that's good food. I mean, a lot of the food is good. I'm a foodie. Yeah.
So there's no person in particular. You got to stop at this guy for the bacon shark or this guy for the doubles when you're on the avenue or wherever you're going to be at.
There's this one guy. I can't remember if he was on French
Richards?
Street or I don't. He was just like at the side, but his doubles were proper still.
Yeah.
I don't. He had no sign or none of that, but everybody went to it. Everybody went to him though.
The foodie's ready to chime in.
Sure, do you seem to have a
It's
problem
doubles.
with
Doubles is a Trinidadian thing. So there's very rare places you would go where doubles is not that good, I find. But there is somewhere that is a doubles factory, and not a lot of people get to visit it.
Okay.
And I think it's in like Curep South side, over on that side. But that is amazing doubles, and you get. If you want good doubles, you go Curep. Like, that's what I know. You go Curep for good doubles.
That's where you go. Would you say you're more doubles or bacon shark? Which one is yours? Which one do you like better?
Comparison.
Of course it is. Of course.
They're totally
It's completely different.
Why do you
I'm
say
a
that?
foodie. You can't. You can't compare doubles and bacon shark.
Why
You
you say
can't do that. Because doubles is doubles. It stands alone.
Yeah.
Bacon shark stands alone. There's a time and a place for both. I mean, doubles you could have every day. In the morning, in the night. In the afternoon, when it's right.
Bars. New tune that. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, right here on the Entertainment Report
Exactly.
podcast. Yes, that's Shorty with her new song coming up. We'll be listening to it shortly. Yes, right there. All right, so let's get into some personal experiences here. Shorty, what did you personally do while you were down there as an artist? What were you doing down there?
Well, this year I wasn't promoting any music, so it was a little different for me, and it was a little bit more relaxed for me, because last year when I went, it was a hustle. I was at every radio station. I was doing television. I had the magazine shoot with OMG Magazine. Okay. So, like, there was a lot of things that I was doing as opposed to this season, because I decided, because I am based in Toronto and I spoke with a very knowledgeable person in music, he told me, Shorty released music for Toronto, right? So for this year, I decided I will be releasing music later. So the vibe was a little bit different for me this season, and it was a lot more relaxed.
Yeah. Okay. You, Kerry Ann?
I was playing pan.
Yeah.
Every night from 8 p.m. until.
Yeah.
I was in the BP Renegades pan yard down on Charlotte Street playing my pan.
And that's what you
and
like.
And that's what I love, and that's what I was doing. I had no business missing any parties for it. Yeah. I did not go to Masha on Monday, and it did not bother me one bit.
You'll save that for next year.
No. I will be behind my pan. Same time, same place.
You, Mr. Oshawn?
Well, for me, definitely I was enjoying myself, but I was definitely looking at production, seeing the things that I can do to enhance my own events, and trying to give Toronto a little bit of the Trini flavor. You know what I mean?
Amen.
That was definitely what I was doing. So I didn't try to go too hard with the work and whatnot. I wanted to actually experience Trinidad. Yeah, I really wanted to.
Did you at all play on radio while you was down there?
Not radio,
okay.
No.
You were on any of the trucks? Or
yeah,
anything?
we mass.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's the big fets? So not even the fets. The big. I'm going blank right now. The big bands. Yes.
Bands.
Is that a question?
Yeah. Yes,
it is a question.
Remember, we're talking.
Like, come on. on.
Is there a delete button? Can we go back and delete?
Raw and uncut.
Take two. That I know, Tribe definitely
We know that.
huge, massive. They like have their own route and everything. Like they're massive. They're massive.
Yeah.
I believe was it Fantasy? Fantasy one?
Legacy.
See, you know them better than me.
Legacy is another one. I don't know them all, but there's
There's a
there's
few
smaller
that
bands. You know,
yeah.
just like up here, there's large bands, there's medium-sized bands, there's small bands.
But
And
Some
even-
big bands have little bands that branched off of them. Like,
Okay.
But some of
Tribe's
these,
got
even
Lost
some of the
Tribe
small
and
bands
Rogue.
they considered small bands, they're pretty big.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
really
Right.
a
To
small
our standard.
band. Yeah,
Yeah.
like we would be saying, yo, that's almost like Saldina now.
Yeah.
And they're considering that
And
small
they're
band.
small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are things I picked up on.
And you find a lot of foreigners usually play with a lot of the big bands or with a lot of the bands, period?
I think it's pretty spread out, really. Like, some people will go to play with Tribe because, again, the hype and
The branding.
Yeah, it's like you play with Tribe if you want to be somebody.
Yeah.
That's the notion, right? Oh, you have a Tribe costume? Goddamn. One of those. But then some people really just look at the costumes and they play with who they prefer the costume of or what they think will suit their body the best. And the great thing about Trinidad is there's so much variety.
Yeah.
So much. Like, one thing that I personally really appreciated is from Tribe in comparison to Lost Tribe, which is, I guess you'd call it like a sister band of them or a niece, nephew, whatever. Lost Tribe kind of takes Mass back to the origins of Mass, where things are a little bit more covered up, but still very creative and very beautiful. And it's definitely a different dynamic, but you'll find
would that
tons
be
of people-
considered old Mass you're talking about? Like with
It's more tradition. It's more
with the
traditional
traditional-
looking Mass, but it still has that like modern twist to it. Where, you know, if you actually look at traditional Mass today in comparison to what we're accustomed to seeing today, some people might think of it like, I don't want to say like like old people Mass. You know?
that's why it's called old Mass. That's what
Right.
I was
No,
saying.
I know,
So,
but, like-
so it's more basically they'll have it's based off of characters and things like that,
Stories
and stories.
yeah.
So that's what you wouldn't see like a 2-piece and
It's more
a
conservative.
back piece.
Yeah.
It's
It's more characters and it's
Right.
Yeah.
showing off different things. It's not really
Absolutely,
about-
which is
it's more
still
cult- like,
cultural.
exactly. I was just
right.
going to say that.
Yeah.
And that's what you would say right there.
Yeah.
All right, let me put you guys on the spot. Let's switch it up a bit. All right, Kerry Ann, ask Oshawn a question. Anything you want about Carnival. Then we're going to switch it
Anything I
back
want
to you.
about Carnival?
Yeah, anything.
Boy, you really
I
put
know.
the people on the- You didn't even tell me he was asking questions. Okay,
Remember,
well.
this was his first time down there.
Okay. So, considering that your focus in attending Trinidad this year was to take in the production elements, what do you think is your biggest takeaway that you could bring here to enhance the events within the Soca scene in Toronto?
When you're bad, you're bad.
So, to answer that question, because I'm going to get a little political.
Please.
Because I'm not considered a Soca DJ.
Okay.
What do you
I am
consider?
not. I don't throw fets. My
Okay.
events aren't fets. So to say to bring back to the Soca scene, it's not bringing it to the Soca scene. I'm bringing it to the urban market who is not exposed to these type of things.
Okay.
So technically, I'm not trying to cater to the Soca
Gotcha.
market. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So I'm just trying to take different dimensions and things that they've done over there and show the urban market. So when they see this, they can be like, oh, what made you think of this? And then I can go back and be like, you know what? Trinidad inspired me to do certain things like that. So that's kind of how I would bring it.
Well said,
Yeah,
well
thank
said.
you.
Well played, well
Thank
played.
And since you had such a great answer, it's your turn to ask Shorty a question.
So now, you said that this year you kind of went easy. You laid back. You didn't really bring out any music as yet. and whatnot. So going into 2019, do you think that that's going to change? Would you produce music again for Trinidad Carnival, or do you think you would focus more on Toronto?
Well, I think my game plan is to release music for Toronto, and which will be 2018, right? And that music will go right down into Trinidad Carnival. So just like around our time, crop over music also comes out at the same time. And that music carries right through until the following year, which is Trinidad Carnival and all the other carnivals that happens after. But their timing is just May releases, June releases. That's when that music comes out. So I will just be releasing during that same time to set something for our city, because I am a Toronto artist. So from that time, go right down into the Trinidad scene. So yeah, I will be hustling for next season in Trinidad, but the hustle starts up here first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that answer.
Very good answer. Okay, so Shirley, since you asked such a great question, I'm going to give you the wild card. You could ask any one of the two of them a question.
Oshawn! Yes! Let me answer this question one time. Listen,
It's because you're wearing blue.
I know.
I just be seeing Oshawn every so often. I just like to stay kind of low key because, you know, I am at this point in my creative stage and I'm recording music. So I don't like to be influenced by everything else. But, you know, I see Oshawn today in this podcast interview, and he come in this blue kind of color, right? And, you know, I just catch him a little bit, just a little bit. So I want to know, how was the ladies treating you in Trinidad?
Take your time.
Can we get like a water break?
He's sweating a little bit.
There's some ice water here, some bottled water. It's all good.
All right. The women in Trinidad, they are very flirtatious. Very, very, very flirtatious. But they're respectable.
Yeah.
They, you know, they'll flirt with you and do everything, but they don't go overboard.
Yeah.
They don't do that. That's one thing I loved. You know what I mean? I think it went both ways. I think even watching guys deal with girls, it was, the respect level was there. You know what I mean? But a Trini woman to like a Toronto?
Wait, boy. Question developed.
Pressure. Yeah, like, but it was love. Like they did show me a lot of love.
That's
I will
good.
say that. And they sniff out foreigners. You see?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
To see
Okay,
but I
goodness.
mean, that's everywhere, though.
Yeah, like
Isn't
they
that?
just sniffed it. Like the thing about it was, I don't think they noticed that I was a foreigner until I opened my mouth.
Yeah.
When I spoke, that's when they're like, they're like, whoop.
Oh.
So did you have to ask for permission often, or was it automatically
Boy,
granted?
that was automatic. Good times in Trinidad.
Good.
times.
So you definitely go back again.
I'll be back for my birthday. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. So now that everybody's in the scene, okay, what's one thing you would change in Toronto compared to what you've seen in Trinidad? As an artist, as a person playing steel pan, as a DJ.
Who's going first?
You
Me
start.
first?
Since you asked, you first.
Okay. As an artist, I don't know. I just feel like Toronto, just like you said earlier, they kind of follow. You know, I just would like them to kind of set their own pace on their own and decide what songs is big for them on their own, and not wait to see what songs is big in Trinidad before they claim it to play it up here. So that's the only thing. And just support, because like I'm from Trinidad. When I go back home, I do get the love. When I go back home, I want that same love when I'm here, because I represent Toronto wherever I go.
Yeah.
Of course.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's just, that's the only thing.
That's what you would say.
I agree with that, especially considering people say Toronto is the mecca of soca.
Yeah.
So we should start acting like it.
Yeah.
As a panist, I definitely would love to see more support for the showcases that actually get put on here for steel pan. There's 3 major ones that happen annually. Okay. Snowflakes on Steel, which generally happens in January, and the Gospel Praise on Steel. Those 2 events are put on by the Pan Arts Network. And then there's the annual competition, Caravana Friday, which is Pan Alive, put on by the Ontario Steel Pan Association. And it's increasingly disappointing to see the attendance in the stands at Pan Alive dwindling year after year. And I think that heavily has to do with promotion and marketing. But at the same time, you know, anytime people hear and see steel pan in Toronto, they're always so amazed and they love it and they want to learn how to play it and want to know how to get more. But for some reason, you know, you just don't really actually see the support. Like, for whatever reason, people won't reach into their pockets to pay to support the culture. So I definitely would love to see an increase in that.
Would you say it's really the marketing, or what would you really say is the issue with that?
Primarily, yes. I would definitely primarily say it's the marketing, because there's so many outlets there where it can be promoted and promoted effectively, but they aren't being utilized. And it's not for a lack of the music, because if you go to any panyard in Toronto in the summertime, or if you go to any of the showcases throughout the year, or even there's panyards that do function throughout the year as well, like, the music is amazing. And it's not just calypso that's being played. Like, you're hearing all types of music being played on steel pan these days. So it's not lack of access. I really do believe it's the promotion.
It's the marketing, how you're bringing it to the masses.
Definitely.
But it's a fact that I'm glad you said calypso too, because the culture for pan and calypso is dying. You understand? And it's dying in Trinidad. I could speak for Trinidad, because when I started doing music, I was put in a calypso tent by Brother Resistance, and I was singing soca in a kaizo tent, right? And had to perform with a band, and that's where my main experience came from. And you would see in tent for me, when I decided to leave tent, was because I felt like I needed a younger audience. Yeah. You understand? Because in Calypso tent, you have more mature people within that. That's the same thing with pan. Yeah. The younger generation, they don't want nothing to do with. They don't want to hear no calypso. Yeah. They don't want to. They don't want to hear no pan. Yeah. You understand? It's like a different vibe. So I feel like culturally, like, we have to find a way to bring these types of art forms
to the younger generation
back. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that it does not die. Because to me, it is dying. Yeah.
And actually, now that you say that, it's not just the marketing, I guess. The older generation, they do have difficulty letting go and passing the torch. Yeah. And the youth these days are so innovative and talented that there's no reason why, if the torch was passed to them, that the culture would be safe and it would thrive and just flourish. But for whatever reason, they don't want to let go. Yeah. So it makes it difficult, because there's like this battle going on that doesn't need to happen, and it just kind of hinders the progression a little bit.
Makes sense. The old generation versus the new generation type of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. How are you?
Well, for me as a DJ, one of the things I would have to say is the artist influence. Like, here's the thing I don't like. I don't like the fact that, say for instance, you're a DJ and one of your artists, or an artist is your friend. What you're going to do is you're going to continue to play their music. You're not playing the really good songs out there. Like, there's some real bangers that are still not being played. And I don't get it. I don't understand why. I don't like that. Me as a DJ, I like to try to dab into music that I think is good. Maybe I don't like it, but other people will hear it and they might love it. Yeah. And I feel that sometimes DJs are not expressing themselves how they should. I think, for instance, look at some Toronto artists. Look, Drake is from Toronto. He had to go outside of Toronto to get a bus. Yeah. and then comes back and bigging up the city. Now everybody's, oh, Drake is this and Drake is that.
Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got?
You know what I mean? And it's
sad.
like,
It's sad.
you know what I mean? Like, for instance, myself as a DJ, I'm not gonna say I don't have love in Toronto, but I am loved other places more than I'm loved in my own city.
And it's hurtful.
You know what I mean?
It's hurtful. It's sad.
And I'm telling you, it is crazy. So it's like I come back and people are like, yo, oh yeah, I see you doing your thing, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I'll go to these other venues, dances, and they're coming up to, and they're just showing so much love.
Yeah.
The love. They're just showing so much love. And you come back to Toronto and it's like, you know, you're back in a dogfight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're back in a dogfight. And it's like, now that forces people to be like, yo, I don't even want to be in Toronto.
Yeah.
Why stay in Toronto and fight with all these other people when you're going other places and you're loved? You know what I mean? And I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? The DJs need to support the local talents. You see what I'm saying? And just support good music.
Yep.
Not only because they're your friends and whatever, whatnot. Like, you gotta expose the music. You gotta expose it.
Yeah.
It's up to the people to choose if they like it or not. But if you don't expose it, how are they gonna know?
I think this goes back to what we just talked about Toronto not being so follow fashion.
Yes,
and
they are.
owning up to this reputation that we built about being the Mecca of Soca.
Yeah.
It's time for us to start setting the standard as opposed to, you know, catching on late after, for example, you go off somewhere and then people start loving you. Oh, okay, so it's time for us to start loving too.
You know what I mean? It's sad. It really is sad. But you know what? This podcast is about truth. Yeah. So I'm talking the truth, and I'm letting you guys hear, whoever's listening, that this is what it is. It's
and I actually appreciate you saying that, because even on an artist scale, you know, I feel the same way. Like when I released Amazing, for example, you know, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I invest in myself, and I came out with a quality video that has over 200,000 views. And when I started to do the promo for Amazing, I started in New York, and I went and I did stations in New York and whatnot. I left from New York, I went to Trinidad. I went and I did all the circuit run in Trinidad. Then I came back to Toronto, and I was like,
crickets.
Crickets.
Yeah.
I mean, I got booked. Some DJs show me love. Like, the song is a good song. Like, I don't need a DJ to tell me that the song is a good song. I know that on my own. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, what will it take for you guys? Just like when I go to New York and I'm in their events, they're playing Voice. They're playing their artists. You know, what's his voice? What is his name? Voice?
But
not what's his, because his name is not Voice, because there's a next Voice now. The one from New York who sing that.
What's the song?
Are you thinking Lyrical or
no? But they show love to Lyrical. They show love to Voice. There's a next artist, One Voice. That's his name. One Voice. So they show love to them inside. Any event that I go to in New York, you know, you have that support. You're hearing their songs in the club mixed in with the other music from all over. You don't hear that here. First of all, big up to Jax. You understand? Yes. He's another soca artist from Toronto. He came out with a huge song for 2018 that unfortunately it got lost with all the music that was released for Trinidad Carnival, but there is a lot of life in that song, and I'm not sure if he's back yet because he feel like he's an ex living down there, but he has a song that I believe in his song called Body Can't
Hold
Stop.
Your Body or Body, something.
Body Can't Stop, and that's a strong song. You understand? So I hope they show him the love. You know, shout out to Miguel. He has another song as well. I got to see Miguel showcase his talents on the Uber Soca cruise, which was a great opportunity for him. In the way in how he was able to get on the Uber Soca cruise was through
the online contest.
Okay. But he's a Toronto artist. He shouldn't have to go through no online contest.
Shout out to the roommate.
Doesn't have to, you know, to get on because he has a solid song. You understand what I'm saying? I just want that love right across. Like, I have a solid song. My song was remixed with Marsville, which even elevated the song. But in this city, where is it getting consistent play? Like on my way here, I had 2 people message me say they just heard my song on the radio on G, but it's playing on Specs' show. Yeah. He's a dance hall DJ. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Where's the love from the soca DJs? You understand? So this podcast is about truth, right?
That's what it is.
Right.
It's truth.
You see, and this segued me into social media. Because you see, social media now, it's a different ballgame altogether. Yeah. This isn't like 10, 15 years ago where if you had something, you had to fight with everybody here. Now with social media, you could put it out there and it could go as far as you want to go. Yeah. And all 3 of you guys can experience something like that. So give me your take on social media.
I think it's definitely a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You understand what I'm saying?
Curse? Why you say curse?
Absolutely. Because there's a lot of negative on social media. Things that I don't like to see. Things that I don't care to know about. Things that's foolish. Look, I was whining above a guy who looked like a corpse, and that is the video that went viral. You understand what I'm saying? But then it has the ability for you to get yourself out there, and more people who may not have gotten the opportunity to hear your music or to know who you are, be able to know who you are because of social media. So that's the good about it, right? And I definitely think that's great for independent artists like myself, you know, to reach out to people who I might not have had their number, but I could reach out to them on social media and then build some kind of rapport with them. You understand? So I definitely think there's good to it as well as bad.
For sure. And you find it's working.
I would have to agree 100% on that. I have so many opinions pertaining to social media. But I think that unfortunately, it's kind of ruined how people socialize with each other, which is kind of ironic. And in terms of, you know, the positive and the negative that is posted on social media, we kind of are in a struggle with ourselves to avoid and fight against the negative, because there's a lot of stupidness, and we have a really bad habit of praising, glorifying, and turning into celebrities really foolish and undeserving people. And like, you know, Shorty said, I mean, she has so many more accolades that could have gone viral and probably should have gone viral, but yet everybody's the park up.
That's a sight.
So I think that in the right hands with the proper intentions, social media is a powerful, powerful tool. Extremely. But we just have to start using it properly with the proper intent.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I definitely agree with these 2 wonderful ladies here. I do agree. Social media, man, how I feel about it is, man, it could be the biggest lie ever. You know what I mean?
Tell them again. One more time.
It's like if I go outside and stand beside a Lamborghini, take a picture, and put it on social media, everybody's going to be thinking I'm driving a Lamborghini. You know what I mean? Like, it is sad. Like, it's sad that, you know, people are focused so much on the wrong things. You know what I mean? Like, I could be so positive. Like, for instance, for me, I don't like to be flashy and show off all this and that. Like, I like to be normal and chill, but on social media, that's boring. So people just scroll by it. They don't really care for it. You know what I mean? It's not until you're doing something that they like is when they're going to be interested in what they like is foolishness. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, now you have to be a fool in order to get likes on your Instagram or people to preview, and that's the bad thing about social media. But social media can take you so far. Ask Cardi B.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You look at Cardi B. Where was she? She was in the clubs before, and now she has how many platinum selling records and whatnot. You know what I mean? And that's a blessing for her. She has to thank social media for that. You know what I mean? And people could be using it as a positive tool, or they could use it as a negative tool. You know, so to each his own.
Because I'm pretty sure between all 3 of you guys have a lot of positive stuff that came out of social media. I'm pretty sure in your DMs, the contacts that you made and people that followed you and you followed back, it's been positive.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I guess you get to play out as much as you do.
Oh yeah, that is social media has helped me.
100%.
It has helped me grow.
There's a lot of opportunity that can be gotten from social media if you're paying attention to the right people, and it's strategy.
Yeah, 100%.
The thing with social media is it leaves so much room for interpretation. So you kind of have to be aware of that, but also you kind of have to have a thick skin. Yeah. Because there will be people who will twist it the way that you don't want it to be twisted, and it's your decision whether or not you address it.
Yeah. Yeah, which makes sense. What do you prefer, Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Instagram's your thing.
Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah, I'd say Instagram.
You say Instagram. What I find the real difference between Instagram and Facebook is this. On Instagram, the people are more vicious on Instagram because it's just a handle. On Facebook, if there's 10 bad comments, if there's 20 comments, 4 or 3 of them might be bad and the rest of them would be good. That's the real difference I find with Instagram and Facebook, because you're generally using your real name on Facebook.
True.
Yeah.
It's
So
a little bit
then
more
your
personal.
psyche, how you're dealing with it, is a lot different than on Instagram.
Yeah, very true. That's very, very true.
Yeah.
The thing with social media is each platform has its purpose,
Yeah,
right? So
for sure.
with the purpose comes varying demographics of people that use it, right? So for example, Instagram is great for visuals and especially quick promotion and advertising. Facebook is really good for more, like I said, personal and like conversations almost, as well as telling stories. Facebook is really good for telling stories, and people kind of use it as news these days. Like things pop off on Facebook before they do on television and CB24 sometimes.
For sure. You know what I mean? For sure. All right, this round we're going into now is called the rapid facts round. I'm going to spit off some quick questions, and you're going to answer it quick. All right? Should I go this way?
Yeah, I feel like
or
you should
this
change
way?
up the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since she's talking, I guess we're going that way, right? All right. So then, what's the wallpaper on your phone right now?
Me.
All right, fair enough. Yours?
Myself and my grampy.
Okay. You?
My lovely, beautiful woman.
All right.
Yes, boy. You got
All
brownie
right.
points for that.
What's the last thing you Googled?
That's a good question. I'd have to check my phone. It's probably a definition of something. I like to Google definitions.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you'd say you're a Google queen?
Actually, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with words. So the last thing I Googled was the definition of Amadeus.
Okay, and exactly what does that mean?
It means love of God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Back to you, Shirley.
Boy, what's your browser history? Clear cache.
Honestly, I would love to answer this, but I feel like I have no clue, and it might be something scandalous.
Safari.
No, you guys put that in the group. I didn't. You dropped that in the group.
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Somebody else.
Wow. See, you guys, Oshawn, you see what goes on in these groups?
Boy,
Don't act like you don't know.
innocent until proven guilty.
So yeah, what was the last thing you Googled?
To be honest, I was Googling, trying to figure out a word for a party name. So I was Googling like passion and all kind of things. So it was like a party name.
A party name. All right. This is a really weird one. Okay.
Oh boy.
Really? No, but it's just weird. It's food weird. It's nothing too crazy. We don't get that crazy yet. This is you guys' first time here. This is your first time here. First time here. Okay. Ackee and saltfish or bacon shark?
Ackee and saltfish.
Bacon shark.
Ackee and saltfish.
Says the two Jamaicans.
Wow, that was pretty interesting. All right. This one is a bit sticky now. Think about it. Marsha Montana or Bungie Garlin?
Bungie Garlin.
I'm going to have to say Bungie Garlin.
I'm going to say Bungie.
Wow.
But honestly,
Okay.
this is really it's so different. Like these two individuals culturally have done so much amazing things for the culture, and Marshall in his own right is a king, and no one's taking that away from him. And for me, when he performs, he's a perfectionist, and when it comes to performance, like
he puts on a show.
Entertainment wise. He is it.
But that's like saying Beanie and Bunty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Two different attributes.
You need more context.
Yeah.
but
Bungie,
Bungie, I appreciate Bungie because he's a different type of vibe, and culturally from where I'm from, street, it's Bungie. Yeah.
He's a road man.
Yeah.
A grounds man.
Oh, for sure.
He's a grounds man.
Right.
He's a grounds man.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree with that one there. Okay. Who was the last person you called or texted?
The last person? Everybody's checking their phone. Mine's plugged into the wall.
The last person I texted was my girl.
Okay.
To be honest, but it wasn't the last person who texted me.
The last person I called was you. Right?
Yeah, and call was you. Yeah. Call was you.
That usually catches people. Yes, that's usually it. Okay, besides Trinidad the other day, where was the last place you went on vacation?
I went to Antigua.
Okay.
End of last year for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I was actually vacation. It was just a couple weeks to relax, and Antigua is actually as beautiful as the pictures look. No filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
365 beaches, I think, in Antigua.
Yes, you could actually visit a beach a day.
for 1 year straight.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Antigua's like that.
That's amazing.
You?
I think I was in Mexico. Where did the cruise go?
Oh, yeah.
Where did
Uber
it go?
Soca, Mexico.
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 And you?
Okay, so you said vacation, not work,
right?
right?
Yeah, vacation.
Vacation was Jamaica. Jamaica was the last place I went for a vacation.
Yeah. Okay. If you weren't to doing what you were doing right now, what would your hobby be?
What kind of question is that?
What do you mean? What would your hobby be? What would your hobby be?
Hobby?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Like, what? You're looking at me like.
because you asking three creatives.
Like there's so
Our
many
work
things.
is our play, and our play is our work.
Give me
But there's
one.
so many.
Just
like,
give me one.
I mean, it all works hand in hand. If I wasn't doing music, I'd be doing something in fashion. I love playing soccer. I'd be playing
'cause I'm
sports.
you know, like
it
like
would.
It would be something
would
about
be-
that.
Yeah.
Soccer.
I really don't know how to answer that.
It's a hard
I
one.
grew in soccer, so I would definitely something to do around soccer.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so you tap out on that one?
I'm tapping out now.
Okay. What song is playing in your car right now? As you turn off the car, that song is playing in your car.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Love.
Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendrick
big song,
Lamar.
Big song.
I don't think I've ever heard of that song. Whoops. Kes, hello.
Yeah, as soon as you turn on my car, all you're gonna hear is party mash up again.
Hey.
I love how you guys are all in sync. All right. One word you say too much.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Possibly. Absolutely.
You can't top out to it. Yo, listen to me. You
Okay, I'm
can't
not
tap
tapping out, but can I just shrug emoji?
out. No.
I'm convinced it was made for me.
emoji.
Like that.
That's like one of my favorite emojis. That shrug.
Yeah. A word did I say too much?
Yeah.
Fam.
Fam.
Yo, fam.
Fam.
That you could oversay that
fam.
word. I
Like,
love
come on,
that
fam.
word.
Oh.
I would say to answer properly, LOL.
LOL.
I laugh laughing. Yeah,
But that's not
It's
even
not
a
a word,
word.
but like the actual word
She went from
/
an
phrase that I
emoji.
could is not safe for radio.
Oh my gosh, what?
Listen, this is a podcast. We're all adults here. This one, we say what we say on
It's
this
not a
one.
word; it's a phrase. Can that count?
Say it.
For fuck's sake! That's the honest to God truth.
Okay, fair enough. I got that. I got you on that one there. Okay, are you a early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Night owl.
Early bird.
Early bird.
But you're a DJ.
Yeah, but the thing about it is I have children, so
Okay, yeah.
School life.
yes.
No, you're like me. I could wake up immediately and start fooling around one time.
I think
That's
I'm more productive in the
I'm a morning person.
Pause.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wow, you guys are funny. That brings us to the end of the rapid facts.
Woo! We made it.
Yeah. All right, so let me ask you guys before I get you out of here. We're going to go around the table and tell me what you guys are doing for 2018, what we could look out for 2018.
Okay.
Start off, Shorty.
Well, I have music coming out, so I'll start releasing from May. One of the songs I already shot a video for, and that's with, I'm actually the feature on the record, and it's with this artist from Ghana. Yeah. So I'm tapping into that Afro world and that type of vibe, but I do have soca music coming. I've been working with new producers and also writing for new artists. So that's what you'll see coming. And visual, like you'll see really great visual coming
That's what
out.
we could look for
Absolutely, yeah.
Nice. For me, I'm going to continue bringing people together. I'm trying to do some more collaborations to help create new experiences for people. But also, I really enjoy helping my community and my peers kind of uplift themselves. Yeah. We kind of have this crab in a bucket mentality, and I'm very determined to break that. So through my business, The Hook and Company, I run The Hook Entertainment, and I've got some pretty powerful collaborations in the works right now that should take the entertainment industry to another level.
Wow. And for you, Mr. Oshawn?
Well, definitely, the whole DJing thing. I have my events. I have my birthday party coming up March 10th, Transcendence. This is my 5th year doing it, so, trying to do it pretty big. Look out for my boat ride, Caravana Time, Shorts and Shades. I have my Do You Remember boat ride. I have a whole bunch of party events coming out, and just stay tuned. Just watch.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. Get it.
And if they wanted to hit you guys up on social media, where could they find you?
Well, for me, everything is at Real Shorty, so it's RealSured.
At what?
Slow it down.
This is the time for me and Mr. Oshawn in the blue to connect for real.
See that?
So Real Shorty, RealSured, and that's for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of the above.
Okay.
Right?
You can find me across all social platforms at The Real Miss Care, exactly as it sounds, MISSKERR, or The Hook Entertainment.
Got you.
And if you're looking for me on all social media outlets, at DJ Oshawn. That's it.
Good. Anybody you guys want to shout out before we get out of here?
Shout out to my team. Sheezy Promo. You know what it is. Shout it out. Shout out to all my followers, all my supporters, everybody who's been backing me from day one. Shout out to my Empress. Shout out to my kids. And just shout out to people like you who are putting people together to do stuff like this. You know what I mean? It's
always love.
Not gone unseen.
I would definitely like to shout out my Hook and Company family, and again, everybody that continues to engage and support, and everybody out there that's trying to keep a positive outlook on life. It's very difficult these days, and where there's a will, there's a way. So keep smiling.
Yeah.
I definitely want to shout you out because I've known you for quite a bit of time, and I've seen your growth as well. And
seen yours too.
Yeah, and you've always been consistent in your behavior, in your attitude. You've never moved funny. You know the city got a lot of funny moving.
Mother.
So, I definitely have to shout you out. You're like a brother, and, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for
Is there a
this
tissue
kind of
box?
So much love.
If I was going to write a Grammy speech, that's what it would be. So, did we cover all topics you guys wanted to talk about, or is there anything you want to talk about? Let's just talk about it. If there's anything you want to talk, it's open. The floor is open. Talk now or forever hold your peace.
Until next time.
The things I would talk about would get too political, and I don't think I would want to.
All right, fair enough.
We're definitely. I think it's safe to say we'd be okay with coming back again if you want to.
For sure.
Take things to another level. I think Yeah.
The vibe, the energy. You guys like the
definitely.
panel. Yeah.
For sure.
Because I've been trying to get 3 to 4 people together one time, but schedules,
It's
scheduling
hard.
is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the fact that we got to sit down together and everybody has their own way of seeing things. You as the artist, you playing pan, you as a DJ. That brings a different dynamic. Everybody sees things differently. And that's good. It sees things differently, but for the one core business,
Right.
which is entertainment.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Actually, I think I would like to add one more thing pertaining to Trinidad Carnival. You know what? I find that a lot of people do have the intentions of going to Trinidad and trying to reach every fete and this and that. And I think it's important for people who have especially never been to understand that there's so much more to Trinidad Carnival than just the parties.
Yeah.
So visit a Kaiso and Calypso tent. Visit the Avenue just to hang out and chill. Go to the beaches. Come to the Panyards. You know, they're like experience the culture and get to know a little bit more about Trinidad outside of the fetes.
But then the question is, who are they going to be hearing that from? Because is the people our age going to say, come, let's go do this. Let's go to the Panyard. Let's do that. Or are they going to say, let's go to the Fed?
True.
But if it was your aunt or your mother saying, come, let's go to the Panyard, you're like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's about people really getting back to their roots.
That's true.
And following their roots, you know?
Yeah.
So
Culture is so
Yeah, it's
important. Like to
definitely-
me, culture is so important. Where you're from, learning where you're from, learning how to cook the foods from where you're from. All these things are so important. And I definitely think that, you know, people who are visiting the island and they want to learn Trinidad culture, they have to experience all of Trinidad culture and not just the fetes.
But in addition to that, even for those who aren't from Trinidad, to understand the culture is so important, especially as it translates back to here in Toronto for
Absolutely.
Caravana,
Yeah.
where we have such an issue with stormers.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm surprised we didn't even touch on it.
yeah, you're right.
But what I find with stormers is this. I explained to you earlier. When you're in Toronto, you have people from Barbados, Grenada, Trinidad, Dominica, Canadians, Americans, and everything. And you're putting them in one spot and expecting them to behave in one way. Everybody's bringing their own issues with them. Me personally, it wasn't until 2 years ago, as crazy as it seems, and I've been in entertainment forever, as crazy as it seems, I did not know you as a spectator could not go into the band.
Let me
I did not know
tell
that.
you something.
Because
Yes, there are many, many different cultures that participate in Caravana, Toronto Caribbean Carnival, whatever you choose to call it these days. But there are tons of different cultures that participate in Trinidad Carnival as well. There's people that come from the UK, from Japan, like all over the world to play Mass. But they come to play Mass because they understand the culture. And still, as big as Trinidad Carnival is, and as small as Caravana is in comparison, somehow Trinidad has the security thing down right. Now, the main issue here in Toronto, from my experience that I've seen, please correct me if anybody disagrees, it's not so much an amalgamation of different people just doing their own thing. It's the fact that people don't understand that the Caribbean parade, the Caravana parade is a parade.
Yes.
It's not a street party. It's not a free-for-all. People pay their money to play Mass. People pay their money to put together a band and have floats on the road so that people can see this parade of culture go down the lakeshore. And there's a lack of respect. You don't see people jumping up in the Easter parade or the Labor Day parade.
I have to totally agree with you. It's a respect factor.
Absolutely.
Because you see in Trinidad, these people respect the Mass.
Yes.
They respect it. Like, they don't try to go over the road. And if they do, and they get kicked out, it's okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
I
not
tried.
a big
I
deal.
tried.
But
I tried.
if it's in Toronto now, it's a big scene. It's a big fuss. I just think it's not, the culture's not here. Like,
It's not.
you don't have that
Anymore.
culture. Like, they're not respecting the Mass. They're not respecting it.
But
But it's also because they
But
don't
they don't
understand
understand
it.
it exactly.
Yeah.
I would say
because
that as
of
well.
the education. I think instead of trying to educate people 3 weeks before Caravana, you should be
happening all year
educating.
round.
As soon as it's done, you start a campaign of educating and teaching people what it's really about. Because as I said, I've been in this forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
had no
realistically-
idea that you could not go in the band.
And
None.
realistically,
You know what
we
I mean?
wouldn't if I wasn't in the scene, I wouldn't have understood it either.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't have gotten it, to be honest. Because from my transition from the Jamaican world into the soca, it's very different. It's so different. You know what I mean? And I didn't understand that until maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, how important it is for masqueraders to just be with masqueraders.
Yeah.
I never really understood. I thought, everybody should be able to free for all and whatever.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But no, when people pay their money to be on the road, like, they need to be in certain areas.
Right.
And people should respect that. That is just what it is.
And it's very difficult to have that respect or even like educate people all year round, because there are initiatives.
Yeah.
There's a group called I think it's the Toronto Masqueraders Association. I apologize if I got that wrong. But they run educational campaigns all year round about the history of Mass. And it just doesn't have enough mainstream support to get it to the mass of people that need to see it the most. Yeah. And year after year, it becomes more commercialized and the culture gets lost further and further down the pipelines. And it's like it's digging a hole deeper and deeper that nobody seems to know how to fill. So
because it's just money. It just comes down to the dollars and cents.
Right.
They don't care who gets hurt, what happens, as long as it keeps bringing in millions of dollars. Then they're okay with that.
So the question is what's the solution?
Yeah.
I think education on more of a broader scale. If you have sponsors that sponsor in Caribana, you should say, okay, part of the responsibility of the sponsors is to say, we have a 2-minute segment every Friday on CP24, because that reaches large scale.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Large scale, so then you could teach them and educate everybody. Say, okay, this is what happened. Because me being in the business and not really understanding that, and I'm in the business, so imagine what other people feel, especially the Americans coming over. Hey, you just jump up and have a good time, drink on the road, and that's what it is.
So is that the responsibility of the sponsor or of the organizing committee?
Of the organizing committee, but that's what they're asking of the sponsor. Say, okay, CP24 needs XYZ dollars for the year. So this is part of our sponsorship package. So you, as whoever the sponsor is going to be a presenting sponsor on CP24.
Gotcha.
Because it reaches large scale numbers. We could do like the Gs, the 105s and stuff, but that's still back to us.
Right.
But if you want to reach that large scale, CP24 is where it needs to go.
True.
And then you take it from there.
That's a
That's
good
just
idea.
me personally. You know what I mean? And you could take it from there. One bonus question for you. Bonus, but this is real random. I don't understand why Soca doesn't have a category on iTunes.
Neither do we.
I don't. It doesn't. That to me doesn't really make sense.
I could, because
First of all, they want to make music seasonally.
Yeah.
Soca is not a seasonal genre.
no.
Soca is all year round. So, I mean, the artists are trying to do their part, but I don't
They can
know
only
if
do
that's
so
gonna.
much.
Man, this is such a tricky without making people feel,
Yeah.
but
It's unfortunate, I think, because I think a big contributing factor is the fact that soca artists specifically don't get a lot of support or like external support financially backing. So they only have so much that they can do personally out of pocket. Whereas, for example, like
soca listeners do not buy music either.
Yeah.
that too.
Okay.
And that is a big part as well as to why we have yet to get a category. It's actually pretty damn embarrassing, to be honest with you.
We don't
that
invest in our own.
When we have a big song that breaks out of the islands and it goes worldwide, it's under reggae.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Or world music
or world.
or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That kind of caught me. Could I sneak in one more question? One more. Do you guys ever think that they're gonna start swearing in soca?
No, never.
Here, listen to why I say differently. A lot of people that listen to soca is listening to Vibes Cartel, is listening to Movado. The artists themselves like this too. So what is to say there wouldn't be no swearing in a soca song?
Because that's not what soca is. Soca
I don't even think I've ever
is-
heard one curse word in a soca
No.
song.
But go ahead.
They're so intelligent with the way they use their words.
Yeah.
Like
They're slick.
they're real.
You'll find more innuendos.
It's more metaphorical.
Yeah.
They would mean something by saying something
That
else.
I know 100 from Calypso days.
And as well, in our island of Trinidad, for a period of time, we would ban certain dancehall artists because of the swearing.
Yeah.
So we're not even allowing that. So why would we then create music with that in it if we're not allowing that in
where
our
I
island?
see it is because you have to remember, at one time you had to go through competition to get big and all that, but then Bungie, he broke that stereotype right there. So then now you introduce the internet into the whole mix. If I put out a soca song and I swear and do all type of stuff, it might catch.
Nah.
Why wouldn't it though?
I don't think it's something that might not.
You're dealing with a worldwide thing now. You know what I mean? And that's what with the advent of the internet, things change very quickly. People are going to experiment. People are going to try all type of things and see what happens.
It depends. I don't think that if you swear in a song, for example, if you're like cursing like every next line in a soca song, it's not gonna reach because that's not what soca is about. Soca is happy music.
Yeah, for sure.
So you wouldn't be swearing in a happy way?
Why? Why can you not
And
articulate
if you are, you're not
yourself
saying the cuss
without
word
the curse word?
Listen, I'm on you guys' side. But it's just me. I understand how things change very quickly when we're in such a free market right now, where there's nobody to say you could go through the gate, you can't go through the gate. Nobody dictates anything right now. There's no one body or organization that dictates anything. The internet dictates everything. You see what I'm saying? I put it out there. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the internet dictates everything. Nobody can tell me anything. I put out what I want.
I think that swear words just have such a crass and sometimes vulgar dynamic to them that just doesn't fit soca.
Soca is vulgar. Stop it.
But listen. It's vulgar in a very undermine. Undermine is not the. Is it the right word? Undermine. No,
like undertone.
It's a very it's sniper.
They're so slick,
which is great.
So slick.
It's which is why it's such an amazing genre of music because you are so creative to be able to say the craziest things without saying it.
Yeah. I believe you. That's what an artist is. Yeah. When you're an artist, not because you could swear and just say it out that. Yeah. When you could cover it up and say it and everybody else still gets what you're saying when you covered it up, now you're an artist.
Yeah,
but my belief is, I believe somebody's going to come along. I'm not going to say it's going to work or not going to work, but I think it's a lot closer than everybody realizes.
Think
right
so?
Now. That's just me. You know what I mean? That's just because I like to see things as real. What's stopping somebody from doing it? There is nobody stopping
I think
them.
even if there was a curse word in a soca song, it really comes down to, is it good or not? Is it tasteful or not? You understand? I don't think it's going to be banned because there's a curse word in a soca. Just like there's conscious rap, there's trap rap, there's all different times. So soca could soca, there's Afro soca, there's pop soca, there's all. So who knows? There could be a cuss soca. So anything is possible, right?
Okay, so since we're talking, can I get one more question? I got one more question to kind of ask. And this is definitely a question that I've been pondering myself. Okay, so let's talk about Soca Monarch. How do you guys feel about Soca Monarchs?
I'm surprised we didn't even touch on this. I'm so glad that you even brought this up.
Yes, I want to touch on Soca Monarchs and see how you guys feel about Soca Monarchs.
You want to go first? You go first.
I mean, I almost don't see the point anymore because
Why?
I just feel like if the big wigs, so to speak, are just not keeping themselves out of it, what's giving the younger generation or the not so popular artists the motivation to actually do better and improve their skills to win? Like, where's the competition? it's almost just like another concert.
Right.
But I mean, you've taken out the heavy hitters, so it's not as good. I don't know. Like,
what's your opinion?
Over the years, Soca Monarch used to be the thing to look forward to for Carnival, right? And as time has gone, it's definitely died down. So,
so do you blame those big? Do you blame the bungees? Do you blame the marshal?
No.
Do you blame because now one of the biggest things in Trinidad is dying.
Yeah. I
Soca
wouldn't
Monarch
place
is Soca.
blame.
Do you think anybody spoke about Soca Monarch? I didn't hear nobody talk about Soca Monarch.
No, it's because the people who are behind Soca Monarch, or who was once upon a time behind Soca Monarch, it was, again, down to money, right? And they implemented a foolish rule in Soca Monarch where once you win, you have to come back and defend your title. And if you don't, you have to give back half of your winnings from the year you won. So that alone is foolish in itself, but they're using that to get back whatever big artists who won to pull numbers for the following year and whatnot. I performed at Soca Monarch as a guest artist in 2014. So I had the opportunity to do that. And back then, for the semifinals, there was a ban. And for the finals, there was a ban. For 2018 Soca Monarch, there was no ban for the semifinals. Artists were performing with DJs. So even that, it just shows you how much it's dying. It used to be the biggest thing back in the day when like a Super Blue would come on stage and the crowd like would be like a Marshall crowd and you could see waves and waves of people coming to see this event. And now, because of perhaps money, perhaps the marketing of the event and things like that, I just think it's come to the point where when people are thinking about where to go for Carnival, Soca Monarch is not one of the options no more. And it's sad.
Yeah.
Going back to what you were asking, Oshawn, about like, is it their fault? I would say partially no, but partially yes, because I do believe that all like these artists have a responsibility to play their part in upholding the traditions and continuing to push the culture forward. But they shouldn't have to feel strong-armed in doing it. Like they should want to do that. They should want, you know, the newer artists that are coming into the game to understand that there is a certain level of production value that goes into it and effort that goes into your performance, that you're on stage fighting for the win. Like you actually have to fight. You're not going to get given it.
Everything else is the competition.
Right.
Like, you know, we try to act like, everything else in the pan world, you're not going and saying, we're going to try to reach second place. No, we're going to beat whoever else. For bands, when it's time to play mass, you think Tribe is like, no, we're not taking it this year. No, they're like, we're taking it this year. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing for Soca Monarch. I don't want to be going up against artists that aren't seasoned. I want to go up against the best. Because to be the best, you have to beat the best. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, the dynamics have changed a lot when it comes to Soca Monarch. It's sad. It's sad to see a lot of things are dying when it comes culturally in Trinidad.
It's just one of those things. No, because if you said Soca Monarchs and you're performing on tracks, that's serious, because Soca Monarchs is a big...
It's a big thing.
And you're performing on tracks, bro?
That's nuts.
Something is wrong.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Not tracks. Anything but tracks.
But the finals, they obviously have the band. And in the finals, they do have a band. But this year, I did notice that. And to me, like, that was one of the biggest things that stood out. Because there's nothing better than performing with a band as an artist. Point blank, period. The vibe is not the same. So if you're competing and you're competing with a band, you're going to compete differently than if you're competing with a track. You understand what I'm saying? It forces you to have to sing and perform.
Exactly.
Performance is the biggest part of being on that stage. You're on the big stage, you better perform. Singing is one thing, but you got to perform. And that's really what it comes down to. All right. Are we done? If anybody else wants to say it, we could say it.
This was amazing.
Yeah, this was fun. Thank you so much
guys
for
are-
bringing us
amazing.
you
together.
guys.
This is
Thank
really
you
good.
guys. You know
This
what I mean?
is really good. Thank you.
Yeah, it was simple DMs, WhatsApp. You say, yeah, sure, we're good. You know what I mean? Just sometimes I wish that more people would see it that way. But again, not everybody's going to see it that way. So you got to just work with whoever's seen it that way, and we keep pushing forward.
Absolutely.
We're going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I mean,
it's
in the,
part of it, you know?
in the
You know?
normal Toronto fashion, they'll figure it out.
So again, you know what? I don't want to cheat you guys out of your thing here. We're going to go around the table quick and just give them your quick handles before we get out of here.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Shorty. Big up to all the listeners, everybody tuning in, and you can always hit me at Real Shorty, REALSURED.
Hey.
You done know.
You can find me across all social platforms at The Real Miss Care. And if you like what you hear, check out Voice of Care, #that.
That's right. You know, it's your boy DJ Oshawn, Toronto's voice of choice. Looking for me? Catch me, DJ Oshawn, on all social handles.
All right, let me clear my throat now. All right, this is Muscle for Two Lines Music Hut, and this is our Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out.
Choo, 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 choo.